Okay, so as I said, we are going to be pulling certain stuff from last year, possibly like towards the end of last year, some news that came out last year, and why I did certain stuff. But I also, if you didn't watch the last episode, go watch that. We talked about the top five tech companies of 2023, and I really wanted to cover something that I saw and why two companies made the list there, and they were, and one was may shock you. Like, so Rivian was number five, and Amazon was number two, I believe. On yeah, Amazon was number two on the list of for the companies that I put down there. So we actually, I said that I wanted to go over a certain video that I had saw about some information on why I chose to do that. And some people already knew this stuff, some people don't. So as I said, I'm going into this, but this video and this topic is going to lead into another point, and it's going to lead into the next thing. And I want to kind of have something that's more fluent and stuff. So the first thing that we have to talk about is this. So if you don't see this way, um, Amazon has been doing certain stuff with some robots, and then they're also looking at different ways to deliver their orders and things like that. So they're trying to progress like every other company is trying to progress. Everywhere is trying to get better. Everywhere is trying to go from there. So the we actually have some of the reasons why. This is why I put Amazon and Rivian on the list of the top five. So we have this, so we just dive right into what
From
they're talking
robots to
about.
artificial intelligence, Amazon says it's revolutionizing the way consumers get their orders. It comes as e-commerce sales are predicted to grow at least 10% this holiday season, reaching $278 billion, according to Deloitte. Amazon alone estimated to deliver 13.5 million parcels each day.
And it's all about innovation. I'm inside Boss 27. This is a state-of-the-art facility.
This is crazy. So, just as started, like, they say this is to help with demand and stuff, and this is a facility that only has robotics here. Like, there's no people like working on any of these delivered orders or setting up none of this stuff. And like, just look at
Just
them.
outside of
They're all on
Boston,
a
and
file
with me now
line.
is
They're programmed
Amazon's
to be
chief
like this. It's
technologist
kind
for
of crazy.
robotics, Ty Brady. Ty, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
So this is the first time the public will see some of the new technology you are rolling out for the holidays. What happens in a lab like this?
We are reimagining the future of robotics so that you can do your holiday shopping even better.
Today, Amazon launches Sequoia, its brand new robotic system in Houston. The company says it's capable of stocking merchandise 75% more quickly and delivering your orders 25% faster.
What was the problem?
So let's stop with this because I think it's very important about something. Holiday season's coming around. It just passed, and honestly, I don't know if I noticed any changes and stuff. Mind you, this is only in Houston, but this is something that they're going to try to bring out to the greater level of people. They're going to try to put this all around America, probably depending on how this test goes with this fully robotic warehouse. And I bet you only people that are here are people that can fix and maintenance the robots. And here's a few things. They say it works. It organizes something 75%. Let's go back real quick. 75% quicker. It also
more quickly and delivering your orders 25.
helps you deliver stuff 25% faster. I guess it helps load the truck so they can get deliveries out quicker. And then it just organizes all the orders way faster as well too. So there's a few ways that how they're able to do this, and I'm really curious about how this is going to go on because robots don't have rights for the most part. So they could just work them and work this warehouse 24/7 besides when like I guess the robots might need a charge. They might have them on certain shifts. Who knows? I never got to step into this is questions that I would have asked if I would have gone there. What happens when some of these robots need powered down? Like we saw those mini robots carrying in the file line, just taking stuff to the conveyor belt that are just carrying packages. What happens to those? Like how are they charged? How are you maintaining which ones stay on the clock, which ones are off, and things? And they're just saying that this is overall way more efficient to have robots in warehouses than people. And I was saying in another video about how robots, robotics are going, depending on how this goes and how Amazon's going to do it, other companies are going to do this as well. You might see the mail room start doing this. You might see UPS. You might see FedEx start doing something like this. Like any of those whole package companies and things like that, you may or may not see them do this. And it's actually kind of crazy and it might be scary, but it's going to impact a lot of people's lives and stuff. It's like when all the jobs went out of the US to for like warehouse and manufacturing jobs and things like that so that companies can get them done for cheaper. This is going to be them trying to do some of this stuff for cheaper, and they're finding ways to do it with robotics and technology. And it doesn't really help the normal people who do work these jobs, because what it's going to do is take away from a lot of this. And I always brought up the point about, well, even though it takes away jobs, it still does create jobs because, but we're in I don't feel like they equate to each other. They definitely do not equate to each other. So there's a few things going on right now. So if you're an engineer, and especially if you're a new entry engineer, and we're going to get into all of this stuff later, you cannot, it's so hard to get a job. And it's in any engineer jobs, you have to apply to so many jobs. I remember trying to get my internship, how hard it was to get my internship and things, and how much you just have to apply, and how much you have to practice to try to get these new positions, and how much you have to do all this other work just so that you can be able to become this. So what this is going to do is going to create some AI jobs. It's going to create some other engineering jobs, so robotics jobs, some engineering jobs for the maintenance and things of them, some more programming jobs for programming how these robotics function and whatnot. But it is overwhelmingly going to do that. But that number of jobs, I don't think is going to equate to the harm that it's going to do to the average person's job who just goes there to sort it themselves and things like that. And I know Amazon does, like, of course, people do steal from their warehouses and things like that, but they get caught. Some people get caught and things. So they can try to say that they're trying to prevent theft. They can say they're trying to make stuff become a lot quicker and better and things, but it is going to do a lot of harm to the average people who are working there. But it is going to cut their costs down crazy because they'll have less people maintaining this, and they don't need nobody to do this. If this works the way it's supposed to, they won't need nobody to do that unless there's an incident. And trust me, incidents can happen, but it might be a reason why certain manufacturing places are going to be only robotics only, so that certain incidents can't happen. And we may get into something about that later. So let's just continue real quick.
5% faster.
What was the problem you were trying to solve with Sequoia?
We want to offer a wider selection for our customers. We want to do that in a very efficient manner so we can pass on a low cost to our customers.
Brady says Sequoia also makes it safer for employees, reducing the number of accidents and repetitive stress injuries.
So you don't have to get on a ladder. You don't have to bend down on your knees. You don't have to.
See, like, we was just talking about accidents that can possibly happen. These little mini bots that you see driving around and stuff, they can't trip you and make you fall if you don't work in there. They can't do any of that kind of stuff. You don't have to do any extra labor because there's nobody there to do the labor. It's only them. So that means they don't have to pay for any accidental insurances and things that happen like that in their warehouse. And people get that time off for being hurt They don't have to pay for those injuries that happen, and worry about paying for that. They don't have to worry about none of it because they're not going to be working in there, and all the engineers mainly going to be working from remote, and unless the people who are maintaining the spaces and stuff, they going to be in there, but watching and maintaining, taking their shifts. But you can't hurt nobody if nobody works there. Only thing that can happen is these robots run into each other and they might break themselves.
Reach up really high.
They're able to bring these totes from the warehouse to a workstation like this, where I met up with David Guerin, who helped design and build Sequoia.
A machine has gotten this item out of the warehouse, brought it over here, and now what happens?
Now the associate finds the item that's up on the screen. So we take it out.
This is a yellow phone case?
We scan it.
Okay.
We put it in a tote to be sent to another part of the building for packaging. We let the system know it's in there, and then this will cycle through and deliver us another tote to pick something else out of.
And just how do those towers move around? Meet Hercules. Today is graduation day. The finished robots form a line and drive themselves onto their own shipping pallets, where they'll head off to work at fulfillment centers around the world.
They've been treating the robots just like people. So they have a graduation. If they pass their tests and stuff like that, they get to be shipped to go to other places to make them more efficient and things. So, I mean,
he's also introducing Digit. This new bipedal robot can grab and move orders in warehouse spaces not designed for humans.
So I think something a lot of people are curious about is what happens between the time they click buy now and the product arrives at their doorstep. You're going to walk me through that.
Sounds good.
Okay, so I'm going to buy what is a bestseller on Amazon right now.
All right, very good.
The Instant Pot. It's going to be hot this holiday too.
Be hot, right on your phone, ready to go.
Okay, I'm going to add it to my cart.
By the time you did that,
Yeah.
I've sourced every Instant Pot inside our network to figure out what's the best way to bring that to your house.
The system found my Instant Pot at a fulfillment center in Penns Grove, New Jersey. From there, it was driven to Carteret, New Jersey, where it was boxed, labeled, and loaded onto another truck, headed for a distribution center in the Bronx. That's where the delivery van picked it up and dropped it off the next day at 6:48 p.m. to me.
Welcome to my office.
The company also has more than 10,000 Rivian electric vehicles.
Said it. This is why, right here, this is why I said Rivian is number 5. You're telling me a company that got a contract or whatever they got going on to get 10,000 fleet vans made for them so that they can deliver with electric vans is not up there? They're not making headway, especially for last year. 10,000. They made 10,000 Rivian vans, and like it speaks for itself. That's one of the main reasons.
Its environmental impact. Branson Ramirez drives one.
I can do about 150 stops.
One thing that I'm confused about, electric cars, they say helps the environment and everything. But one of the things that I want to know is, can the companies track these electric vans a lot easier than they were tracking their other vans? Like, if tracking is way better than that, that's a plus on their side too, because they can see where all their vans go. It's easier to track them and all of that stuff.
Maybe 250 to 300 packages.
New technology evolving to get us what we want faster and more sustainably this holiday season. And here's the thing, Amazon is not alone in gearing up for the holidays. Retailers across the board are also getting ready. Walmart opened 3 new fulfillment centers, 36 drone delivery hubs, and Target is adding 100,000 workers just for this holiday shopping season.
I mean, it all looks cool, especially the robots. Yeah. But you do have to wonder about the folks who used to actually have those jobs, like the people.
I was just saying this.
And that is a question I asked when we were there. And Amazon insists their data proves otherwise, that they are adding jobs as they are adding robotics. They, in fact, say that they've added hundreds of thousands of new jobs and 700 job categories. But yes, you're right. The person who might be lifting those shelves or lifting those totes is a different person. They may now need to brush up on engineering skills or...
See... We just talked about how it's going to create all these new engineering jobs and things like that, but it's not going to help the average person. engineering isn't something you can just brush up on. It's really not, and it's definitely not made for everybody. It comes with a lot of stress getting through like college or getting through any of that kind of stuff. And when you're actually on the job, it can produce a lot of stress in your life, especially if you're not ready for that kind of work. So it can be way more stressful than a job that they're doing. It's not something you can brush up on. It takes time. It takes a lot of time to really get your engineering skills up to there, especially to move into this kind of space. And a lot of people are moving into this space, and mind you, like there's a crisis, right, kind of a job market crisis going on for engineering jobs right now, like how hard it is to get them. But like we, it's hard. Like it's hard. It's not something you can brush up on, and I do not agree with what she's saying right there. Like not at all. Most of those people would just probably work at another warehouse or work somewhere else and things. It's some of them might be in this school and they already are engineers trying to progress over and things, but this is this is just something that's just not true. I don't believe it's going to be true. I don't think they're going to be able to replace the jobs as quickly as they're going to be getting rid of them if they do it a certain way. So if they are producing these jobs, they most likely will be producing these jobs right now, filling them up, and then once when they're filled, all those other people are gone, and it's gonna be quick. Like they might not have that much time to prepare. I mean, you know what's coming now because it's out in the news, but you might not have the time to fully prepare about it and go about all that stuff. So I mean, it's tough. It's really tough. Speaking from experience, it's not as easy as something you can just brush off.
Different kinds of critical thinking. But the idea is really interesting because they want to remove anything that's mundane and allow humans to use higher level critical thinking skills, things that make us more human. So that's the goal with these robots.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Vicki.
Yeah.
Hey, thank.
So that was segment number 1 of today. And we have so much to go over. Like, as I said, there's a lot going on now. There's a lot that's changing constantly. And that's just something, that last part that she said, I can't really agree with what she said about brushing up on your skills, but it is something that if you actually want to be an engineer and be passionate about it, you need to look at what kind of space you're trying to specialize in, because specialization is so key for engineers. It's actually so key that they're actually bringing up more jobs for different departments and things. And as we know, last year, AI was something crazy. AI went so crazy last year, and it actually affected the way that certain engineers would specialize into stuff. So one of the things that people specialized in was AI.